Hey plastic model builders, it's me Ari Stone with Plastic Model Builder, and this is the Revell 148 scale P-61 Black Widow. We are going to be inserting the windows here, as you can see. As well, we are going to paint this plane, primer it black, and we are going to put the decals on and weather it. So you can see we're putting on the windows here. I kind of made some mistakes. I put a little bit of too much filler, not filler but glue, to where I wanted to fill in the gaps. I'm using regular thin cement on there to make a good bond. By the way, remember to subscribe, comment, and like if you haven't already done that. Like the videos, give me comments because I love to respond to them, of course. You see me putting that filler in there, I get a little bit of it on the windows. Nah, it gets painted over, I have to redo some of it. You know, it's just model making madness to make things look pretty. So anyway, we are painting the canopies green for the cockpit, the inside cockpit, so they will look green ahead of time. After that, we will primer everything. So if you keep watching in this video, you will see me do all of that stuff. You just got to watch it, and like I said, you will see me do it. So this is it going green. We do the inside of this. If you want to do the nose off version, just make everything look chromate green. So this is the main plane right here. We're putting on our primer coat. Just go over it, give a decent coat, and what I'm going to do with this is by putting on the primer coat and giving it a light semi-gloss black color. It's going to bring out the darkness in the black, but also it's going to peek through a little bit with the gray if you do a light coat of black to make it look rather dull and somewhat weathered, if that's what you want to do. If you want a brand new look, go with a really nice gloss black paint. I did not do that, but you can do that. Just do your model how you want to do it. Don't worry about how I do mine. This is how I wanted to do it. So this is a semi-gloss black that I'm using. It's Tamiya color. I think it's X18. And you see it going on. It'll dry nice and clean with the semi-gloss color to that. Just go over it, fill in the seams, all that good stuff. Make it look pretty. That's what we do. So here is the propeller. I did that all gloss black. I do paint a little bit of sealer on there and a high gloss color to make the front of it shine, because I guess that's what the front of the plane looked like. It had the shine on just the front of the propeller. Here's the landing gear doors right here. We're going to put those on later as well. We put all the parts on the plane. We basically refinish it up, and you can see all that in sections as you keep watching. You got your rudders right there, and of course the wheel. Make the wheel look good. By the way, the fit on them is really terrible when it comes to putting them onto the axle. It just doesn't fit at all. So here we're putting the sealer on, going over the black color just a little bit, and we'll seal this in. And that's what we're doing right here, because you see that cup, nothing but clear sealer in there that I used on this model. And it turned out just fine. And of course you have to get your front nose cone and your propeller, and this is what I talked about earlier. I did the front of this just a little bit to make that front shine and keep the propellers nice and dull. And you've got your wheel bay doors right there, and another flap goes on the back. We'll also put that on. So let's see how well this color turned out. Remember, I also did primer the windows after I put the green on. Just give it better. So that's what it looks like. You can see the green showing through. Different color, against a different background, and the front is black. So it looks really good. Pull out our cotton swabs. This is from all our masking. Apply our decals. This is a long one. Get it on there, put it into position. It goes fairly well. They did a good job with these ones, even for a really old kit. Dab your cotton swab on there, press it down, put on your sealer coats, and then your microsol, microset decal sealant that I use. That way it sits nice and pretty in there. Got this decal which goes right in the middle. Remember to do both sides of the aircraft. I didn't do any common markings. I just didn't feel like doing those, too many of them. And I feel like even some of them wouldn't show through very well, but this one did. So we've got that. Goes on right there, our little star. Couple of these, one on each side, one on the underside of the aircraft. Just position them. Do the best you can. Here comes the tricky part. It's this little half moon. I lined it up the best I could, which would look like. This same thing kind of fits just like that. Your solvents will make it sit evenly on there. Got your star. I'm going to put on the number next. There that is. Now you got your front things. This thing, you can't see it at all. It just disappears right into the black of the plane. You'd see the logo though and the artwork on the front of the nose cone. He sticks out very well. And then you got these, of course. But as you can see, as the other part dries, you don't see it at all. So you can put that on there, or you might not. So that's why I opted to not put many on, because you just couldn't see them. You got this. This is for the ladder. It's going to go on a little bit later, so we'll show you how to do that. I painted the wing tips first white, then we'll do a yellow. We're going to let that dry. Same with the landing lights. Put a white base under it. It's really going to make the color stand out. So this is a translucent red with a translucent green and a yellow. I didn't have any translucent yellow, but I made it work. And you're going to see those once they finish. Looks good, just like that. And then paint the yellow on these. You see how the yellow stands out with that white background to it. That's how it's supposed to look. And you don't have to put a zillion coats on there. And I painted it on. Look good instead of regular airbrushing, because this color's such a pain in the butt. So this is how I did it. We're going to attach the remaining pieces. We have our wings right here, our flaps. 3 spots. Yes, I'm using regular old tube glue to really give those a good stick so they dry. Don't want those coming off. Got a flap on each side and then a smaller little flap that goes right there. I did flaps down, landing gear down. This piece stays down. By the way, the plane is a tail sitter, so you might have to insert the little clear piece. If not, weight it down. Maybe if you want to try different methods. I put a bunch of weight in the gas cans, but it didn't work. Put these on. This is for the rear wheel wells. If you don't labor your parts, they really can only go one way. The thicker fat side will go in a certain way. Just match up the holes, because you can see here how they go. Some are thicker than the others. Just how the plane went, and it will go in. Now these right here, bad fit. One of the worst fits I've seen ever for landing gear. They don't really want to stay on. You just had to put it on the best you can. Make sure they stay flat. Decals, they're really small, hard to see for some reason against the black border. There's a close look. When we put the yellow ones on, they just disappear and ignore the dog hair. So you see that's on there, but is it really? I left these primer colored and then seal coated them in. Just how I did it. I was happy with it, and that's the front wheel. You see that's very loose too. Put that on. Finish the rest of these, your tanks, which I loaded up. And as I was saying, you could maybe try putting pellets on while you build the plane earlier. Things I find out as I go. This is your radar. That's the internal workings of it. And then you put the actual radar dish on. It's like one of the first planes ever to have radar in it. And the cone fits right over there. If you weight that down without the radar, it should sit flat. And then we've got our propellers. Just put those on. I didn't even bother painting the backs of those. I just left them as they were. They go on fairly easily, you see here, just like that. And there are the dollar color. There's our gun. You have to slide this piece onto it. Make sure you remember which orientation you put on this, because it should only go one way. With the top pieces, the ones that stick out, go up, because you can even see how it lines up with the top there. If you fold it up, it should fit in perfectly. Got your front here, a small little piece. This is for the landing gear. Got to fit it in and hold it down till it dries. It's a little tedious, but you can do it. Same with these. They're supposed to go at a certain angle. Kind of hard to get them in, but I made them work. So that was the important thing. Just do those for each sides. Make them look pretty. Model making madness again. Oh, also remember we do our live chat that we do. So come join us on that for our video premieres. I love to talk with people, and we do it quite often for every video premiere that I do. We're doing videos every 2 weeks, and periodically I will do live videos that you can see of me doing my actual builds, because these come out way after they've already been built. So you see I put that ladder together. We're putting on these. They stay in fairly well. You still want to glue them though, just to be sure. That one canister sits in next to the door that opens and closes, so you're going to have to lay that door a little funny. And these are little antenna, I guess, that are on the side of the bottom of the plane. These ones go on the side. You have your mount, and then those, and just carefully place them down. Very easy. This goes at the front, and then paint this here. It'll go, the tip of it goes like an aluminum color. So you just want to paint that later on. So you see me sticking this on like that. Just let it dry. Notice the orientation of that. Small end faces forward. If you see any boo-boos, it's probably because I got some glue in places and I just left it. So this is what I was talking about right there. That has to rest on that. Otherwise, if you take out the pylon, it sits the way it should. But is what it is, so we're going to put this on. Right there, it has the notches to line up. See that glue sucks in there. Perfect fit, one of the few canopies with the perfect fit. This one's a little hard to get in. I glued it down, left it up. The other two, I get put on the plane, like I glue them to the plane. That way it looks like they're in perfect shape. You can see what that looks like right there. Nice little version, quickly going over how this is going to look when it's done. We are going to do some weathering, so keep watching and I'll show you that and how we do that. We're going to do the exhaust and paint that guy right there. This is just roughly so you can get a good idea of what the plane actually turned out to be. I know I do have a little frost on my windows and a fingerprint. I left it. There's the underside. You're getting a great view of what this aircraft looks like. And of course, right here, I'm going to show you the wings under that. Look at that pretty color. Those turned out nicely. All right, so here comes the weathering part. I paint white with my airbrush. Got 3 little streaks that come out of this. The longest one goes on. You see I put that cap on there, which is for the engine. So that gets painted, then we'll move that off to the side later on. You got to do some on the undersides of the nacelles as well. Just kind of goes along, and you're going to get the tail fin. Tail fin, from what I've seen, because of the way the exhaust goes, hits majorly on the underside, so you're going to get that. And then I'm going to take a brown color. Once I'm done putting on the white, I'm going to mix brown into this with that white that's left over. Kind of backwash it in there. That way it mixes in a little with the white. So you got the light color white. And then we will put more brown of the same color and darken it up. And that will go along the middle. So you're going to see me do that as well. And that's me doing that right there, because you can see the light brown. Then we're going to put the dark brown on right in the very center of these colors. Gives everything a little bit of depth. It makes it pop. We'll paint the little other exhaust that you could see with the part right here. We're going to go silver all around the inside. Chrome, aluminum, whatever color you want to use. Then we're going to put some brown on there. I just use a Q-tip to do it. Kind of intuitive. I didn't feel like cleaning a paintbrush. And then we do a mix. I make a pink color, kind of make it look rusty and faded and worn. I feel I did a somewhat decent job. And that is it. This plane is really coming together. We're going to glue on the rest of the pieces. I'm doing a little black weathering right there to make it look even extra dirty. Because planes do get dirty sometimes when they fly. They do have pictures, although some people deny it. I used to deny it myself, but they do get a little dirty. Then they get their baths periodically. So we're just making it a little bit dirty. I have a turpentine and black mix, very light. I put it in the black mix, dip out most of it, and then just let you go over it. Don't want to eat up any of our paint though, so just be careful with how you do that. I'm only dirtying the white parts. Now we're going to glue these parts on, all the parts that we missed. So remember, subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you for watching my videos. We're putting the windows on right there off to the sides on the wings. And until next time, as always, see ya.